Dear chosen one, there's something deep and sacred about sex, something powerful, spiritual, and divine. It was never meant to be casual or careless. From the beginning, sex was designed as a gift, a sacred connection between two souls brought together in love and divine purpose. But in today's world, it's easy to forget that. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement, the attention, the momentary pleasure, and miss the truth. Sex has spiritual weight, and if it's not handled with care, it can lead to more harm than healing. There's a thin line between pleasure that brings life and intimacy that drains the soul. For those who are spiritually awake, the chosen ones, as some would say, this isn't just about morality or religion. It's about alignment. It's about staying connected to your true purpose and walking in the light you were born with. Because for the chosen, sex isn't just a physical act. It's spiritual. It shapes your energy, your emotions, your mind, even your future. And when it's misused, it doesn't just hurt your feelings. It stains your spirit. You might be reading this at a time when your heart is searching for something real. Maybe you've been feeling uneasy. Maybe your spirit's been pulling at you, warning you. If that's you, take this as your confirmation. You're not going crazy. You're waking up. You're becoming aware of things you once ignored. And if your sexual choices have started to feel off, this is your sign. It's time to listen to your soul. Let's talk about what this really means. Sex without commitment, outside of a sacred, spiritual covenant, isn't just risky. It's dangerous. It opens doors that were never meant to be opened without protection. Marriage isn't just a legal agreement or a family tradition. It's a spiritual promise, a covering. It's a space where two people come together in front of God and say, "We are one. We are united for a purpose." When sex happens inside that space, it's blessed. It's protected. It's safe. But when it happens outside of that, it becomes exposed. That means your spirit is vulnerable. You're giving a piece of yourself to someone who hasn't promised to protect it. And that's where soul ties form, connections that go beyond the body and into the soul. Ties that can leave you feeling confused, lost, or broken long after the moment ends. The chosen ones can't afford that kind of risk. You were made for more. Your calling is too great to be tangled up in relationships that don't honor your spirit. And let's be honest, sex without purpose, just for the thrill or the release, leaves you feeling empty. It might feel good for a moment. It might distract you from the loneliness, the stress, or the craving. But afterward, what's left? For the chosen ones, even a casual hookup doesn't feel casual. Your soul knows. Your spirit reacts. You may laugh it off on the outside, but inside, something feels off. That's not guilt. That's divine discomfort. That's your soul saying, "This isn't right for us." You see, every sexual encounter is an exchange. It's not just bodies touching, it's energies merging. You give and receive more than you realize. When you connect with someone, you absorb a part of who they are, their struggles, their fears, their energy. And if they're carrying chaos, confusion, or pain, that gets passed on. And you carry it, even if you don't know it. That's why, after sex with the wrong person, some people feel drained, anxious, or spiritually heavy. It's not random. It's real. It's spiritual. Many people use sex to hide, to silence pain, to forget. You might not be seeking love, just comfort. A moment of touch to make the loneliness stop. But sex can't heal wounds that haven't been faced. It only buries them deeper. And every time you use sex as a bandage, it doesn't close the wound, it keeps it open. That's not healing. That's numbing. And numbness isn't peace. It's just silence. It's like pressing pause on your healing. But eventually, everything you've avoided comes back, louder, heavier, and harder to handle. And the truth is, if you're chosen, if your life has a purpose, a calling, a mission, you're too valuable to be giving yourself to just anyone. You weren't made to be a playground for pain or a quick fix for someone else's ego. You're meant to walk in purpose, in clarity, in alignment with divine truth. And every time you sleep with someone who isn't meant for you, who doesn't honor your spirit, you pull yourself out of alignment. You step off your path. Even if it feels good in the moment, the cost is too high. Some people aren't just wrong for you emotionally. They're dangerous to your soul. They carry energies that don't belong in your life. Maybe they're battling demons, addictions, spiritual confusion, or darkness. And when you get intimate with them, you don't just share a night, you share their realm. That's why after sex with certain people, you feel off. Lost, sad, confused. That's not just heartbreak. That's a spiritual transfer. You've taken on what they carry. And if your spirit isn't protected, it can overtake you. You weren't created to carry that weight. Your light wasn't meant to be dimmed. But sex with the wrong people, for the wrong reasons, in the wrong season, it dims your glow. It fogs your mind. It weakens your connection to God. It doesn't matter how strong you are. If you let the wrong energies in, they can take root. And once they do, you'll start to feel distant from who you really are. Your decisions won't feel like your own. You'll wonder why you can't think clearly. That's spiritual disconnection. The world says sex is no big deal, that it's just fun, that you should explore and experiment. But for people who carry purpose, that kind of thinking is dangerous, because you feel everything more deeply. What others can shake off, you carry. What others can forget, your soul holds on to. And that's not a curse. That's a sign of your calling. You were made to protect your spirit. You were made to move with wisdom, not impulse. And maybe this isn't your first time hearing this. Maybe you've tried to ignore the signs, the heavy feeling after, the confusion, the regret, the way your spirit tugs at you afterward. But now, something in you is ready to listen. You're ready to do things differently. Not because of shame, but because of truth. You're not here to live like everyone else. You're here to walk in purpose, in peace, in alignment. So what now? It starts with awareness, with taking a breath and being honest with yourself. Where have you given your body but lost your soul? Where have you traded your peace for a moment of pleasure? Where have you said yes to people who were never meant to touch your spirit? The good news, you can always realign. You can always return to yourself. You can start fresh. You can choose sacredness over chaos. You can say no to what dims your light and yes to what feeds your soul. You can protect your energy, your heart, your purpose, because you're worth that. Your future is worth that. Your healing is worth that. This isn't about shame. It's about power. Taking your power back. Reclaiming your body, your soul, your choices. Knowing that you don't have to keep repeating patterns that leave you broken. Knowing that your worth isn't found in how desired you are, but in how deeply you're aligned with who you truly are. If you've been looking for a sign, this is it. If your spirit has been whispering to you, nudging you, waking you up, listen. Don't ignore it. Don't quiet it down. That voice inside you is sacred. That discomfort after sex that didn't feel right, that's not weakness. That's awareness. That's truth rising to the surface. Let this be the moment where everything changes. Where you choose yourself. Where you choose alignment. Where you stop giving your light to people who don't honor it. Where you stop using sex to escape pain and start walking toward real healing. where you remember who you are and whose you are. You are chosen. You are sacred. You are powerful. And your body, your heart, your soul, they deserve to be treated like it. Some people are not meant to be close to you. If you're someone chosen for a higher purpose, not just anyone can or should be allowed to connect deeply with you, especially not through sex. Your body and spirit are sacred. Think of them like a temple. Not everyone is meant to step into that kind of holy space. This isn't about being better than others. It's about being aware of your value and being careful with your soul. When you have sex with someone, you're not just sharing your body. You're opening a door to your spirit. And not every spirit should be let in. Some carry peace. Others bring pain, confusion, or even darkness. Sex isn't just something physical. It's not just fun or pleasure. It's powerful. It links your soul with another. That connection has weight. Some people carry peace and healing, but others carry pain, manipulation, or brokenness. And if you're not careful, you'll end up tied to people who bring storms into your life. Some houses, meaning some people's inner lives, are haunted by trauma, fear, or darkness. When you sleep with them, you're stepping into that haunted space without knowing it, and it leaves a mark. One of the most dangerous things that can happen is when sex is used as a tool. If someone is giving their body to get love, to keep someone from leaving, or to feel like they matter, that's not real intimacy. That's bargaining. It becomes a deal, a trade, and that's not what sex was meant to be. It stops being sacred and turns into something that steals rather than gives. Your body should never be used to earn someone's attention. Love that has to be earned this way isn't love at all. It's control, fear, and desperation pretending to be passion. For those chosen for higher purposes, this kind of sex is especially harmful. Why? Because your body and soul are already designed to be deeply connected to spiritual things. When sex becomes a tool for survival or manipulation, it opens the door to spiritual confusion. It doesn't bring you closer to love, it pushes you further from yourself and from God. The result is emptiness. You start to feel used, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. That's because the act is no longer holy, it's become a transaction. It's all about power, not connection. When people use sex to cover up their insecurities or try to fill a hole in their heart, it never works. In fact, it often makes that hole deeper. You can't fix spiritual hunger with physical pleasure. Your body ends up feeling spent and your spirit feels hollow. This kind of sex creates obsession, confusion, and spiritual heaviness. You may think you're forming a connection, but really, you're getting entangled in something that doesn't lead to growth or love. It's a trap, and it will keep you stuck if you don't wake up to what's happening. Now, let's talk about addiction. Sexual addiction, whether it's porn, constant hookups, or an uncontrollable need for a physical touch, goes deeper than just desire. It becomes a prison. You feel chained to a cycle that keeps you chasing pleasure, but never gives peace. It messes with how you think. It blinds you from the truth. It slows down your growth and warps your sense of identity. And for many chosen ones, this struggle is generational. It didn't start with you. It's been passed down through family secrets, unhealed pain, and spiritual trauma. So you're not just dealing with lust. You're battling the weight of spiritual patterns from your past. That's why the pull feels so strong. Sex addiction is often rooted in unhealed pain, abandonment, rejection, or rebellion. It's not just about craving touch. It's about trying to silence a deeper ache. But until you face that pain and heal it, you'll keep running in circles, getting temporary highs that always leave you feeling low afterward. The thrill fades, but the damage stays. And your spirit knows it. God never meant for you to live like this. You weren't created to be a slave to your urges. You were made to carry power, light, and divine purpose. When you give in to these addictions, you're handing over your strength. You're feeding your flesh while starving your soul. And chosen ones, people like you, cannot afford to live in this kind of spiritual poverty. Your mission is too important. You were born to break cycles, not stay trapped in them. Pay attention to what happens after sex. How do you feel? Are you at peace? Or do you feel distant from God? Do you struggle to pray afterward? Does your mind feel foggy, your heart heavy, or your spirit unsettled? These aren't just emotional reactions. These are spiritual signals. God isn't punishing you. He's trying to protect you. He's showing you something isn't right. Chosen ones are sensitive to spiritual shifts. When sex causes a break in your connection to God, it's a red flag. That means it wasn't just physical, it was spiritual interference. Even if the sex felt good in the moment, if your peace disappears right after, that's a warning sign. Your spirit always knows the truth, even when your body is satisfied. If you find your dreams growing darker, your clarity fading, or your inner peace shaken, you need to ask, what did I allow into my life? Some sexual encounters carry spiritual baggage, and once you open the door, it's hard to close it again. That's why chosen ones have to stay guarded. Not out of fear, but out of wisdom. You were never meant to let just anyone into your soul. Sex is sacred. It's about more than passion, it's about presence. If you don't feel God's presence afterward, take note. That means something is off. It means your spirit is reacting to a connection that wasn't aligned. And if you keep allowing that, it will pull you further from the life and destiny God has planned for you. Some sexual encounters don't just hurt you, they delay you. They don't destroy your purpose, but they slow it down. They cloud your judgment and tangle your emotions. One wrong night with the wrong person can detour your path for months, even years. God will forgive you, but the mess takes time to clean up. And in that time, you could have been growing, building, moving forward. The enemy doesn't always come with obvious destruction. Sometimes he comes as distraction. He knows that chosen ones carry big purposes. So instead of attacking you directly, he sends people to keep you emotionally stuck. Not every lover is a life partner. Some are spiritual tests. Some are meant to teach, not stay. When you bond with someone through sex and they're not aligned with your calling, you'll start feeling torn. Your focus fades. Your motivation dies down. Your energy becomes divided. And you start walking in circles instead of stepping into your future.